Hello everybody and welcome to another ArtSnacks unboxing video. So this is actually a little bit strange and funny. I have done ArtSnacks kind of closer to the beginning of my channel, but I haven't done an ArtSnacks video in a long time. And the reason for that is because I stopped buying them. However, I forgot about a last box that I bought before I stopped doing those videos. So I actually got this, I don't know how long ago, but I never actually opened it. It's just been kind of chilling under my bed and I only found out now because I was cleaning. So interestingly enough, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot that I was going to do another one and then just decided to discontinue the video. So we're gonna actually just open up this box and see how well the supplies are doing after not having been touched for who knows how long, but I'm sure we'll find out as soon as we open how long it's actually been. So let's get into it. Alright, we have our trusty dusty supplies here in this box. Let's pull out our menu before we pull out anything else. And we can find out that this is from February 2021. It is now November 2021. So if you do the math, that is 9 months ago. So we're almost a full year away from when I bought this box. So we'll see how these things are doing after a year of being untouched. I assume fine because art supplies that aren't touched should be okay, but who knows? We'll see. So we're gonna put the menu over on this side and let's just get into it. So we have our candy, we have our jaw breaker, or jaw busters, I guess it is called. So I don't really know if it is expired or not. I would assume not because candies tend to have a good amount of preservatives. So we'll see if I end up trying that out later. We have in here, oh, we have some ink, it looks like. Okay, yeah, acrylic drawing ink, and it looks to be in a blue color. Let's take it out of the packaging. Okay, now that you can see it better, we have this Higgins Ultramarine blue acrylic ink. So it looked a little bit separated, but if we shake it up, you can see we have a nice blue bottle. And for the rest of our supplies, let's go ahead and open this. Ah! Wow, perfect. I dropped everything into the box, which is kind of perfect. We have our sticker of the month from February. It is this cute and colorful polka dot looking blobs of color ArtSnacks sticker. I can't say ArtSnacks. We have a paintbrush. This is the Princeton Velvet Touch round number 4 paintbrush. Oh wow. And this is actually pretty amazing. This is the exact same paintbrush that I got in my Sublime Mainnet Mossery collab art box. I really like these brushes. This part up here is really soft. I think it's that velvet touch. It's just really smooth. It feels really nice on the fingers. And the brushes themselves are really great. On the Smart Art, I cannot say ArtSnacks. On the ArtSnacks menu, it says that this brush retails for $8.35. These are pretty expensive brushes, so I'm pretty pleasantly surprised to have a good brush. I'm actually kind of sad that this has been sitting in this box since February because this is a really good sized brush. It would have been really nice to have. And I didn't get a brush this size from the Sublime Mainnet Mossery art box, so it's kind of nice to have it. So very excited about that brush. Next, I'm seeing this pink thing, which I'm assuming is an eraser. Koh-i-Noor. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, but it's this hard mouth eraser. Let me see if I can find out some information on that. It's a thermoplastic eraser. Okay, so the menu says this is nice and ergonomic. It's supposed to be really kind of nice to hold. It has this little like divot in the middle, so it's kind of fun to hold, and then you have a bunch of different angles to kind of go at, and it's supposed to be a nice durable eraser that is gentle on paper, and apparently it comes in a variety of colors. I got a classic bubblegum pink color, which I'm not mad about. Since this was a February box, it would have been nice because it kind of reminds me of like pink hearts for February. Next, we have this, which I do not pretend that I'll know. This is a Kuretake Zig Metallic Clean Color Dot Double-Ended Marker. So this lets you create perfectly round dots, and it's in a metallic color. It has a 1mm tip for detail work and a rounded dot tip. Try changing the pressure as you draw to create brush strokes or dot marks in varying sizes. The water-based metallic ink shines on light or dark paper. Okay, water-based ink, which lets me know that I can use our paintbrush with this too if I wanted to dilute it. So we have on this end, we have our nice little dot side, which I guess will be really fun to test out. And then on the other side, we have a nice bullet tip, it looks like. Last but not least, we have our pencil. So it's a Graphstone Carbon Diache 6B pencil. So we're gonna have a thick boy, as I like to call it. That is our supplies. I'm gonna go grab a sheet of watercolor paper and then we'll test these out. Okay, I went ahead and grabbed some water and a palette as well because I think it'll be interesting to try these things out a little bit. Try these things out in all the ways that it can be tried out, but I don't know why I proceed to put things on my left side. When I'm left-handed, I simply cannot function that way. So the thing to know about pencils when it comes to 6B, I don't actually know what the B stands for, but I do know that when you get into the Bs, I always think of the Bs as like bolder. So the higher up you go in the Bs, the softer the graphite is. So it becomes pretty easy to spread around. Even with a light touch, you can really bloom out the graphite. Obviously, I'm also using watercolor paper, so that's not gonna help make it a little bit more solid. It's gonna definitely look a lot thicker and bolder. If you get into the H's side of pencils, I know they become really fine. The graphite's a little bit harder, so it's easier to get like finer strokes. So I've never been a big fan of these B pencils. And then of course, if you have a regular school pencil, that's going to be in an HB. So it's kind of like the perfect balance. It's just a standard pencil. This is just going to be more blown out. So good for shading and graphite work, just not my preferred media. Next, I'm gonna try out our eraser. I do like the shape of this eraser. I do always kind of switch between hard plastic erasers and kneaded erasers, so I don't mind having an extra eraser, especially if it's good. So let's see how well it works. Oh, okay. It's kind of like pushing the graphite before it like erases. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just pushed it instead of picking it up. So I don't really like the way that was working. Let me get a different eraser and see if that makes a difference. All right, I'm gonna use the Staedtler Mars Plastic. I wanna just see if it's because it's on this watercolor paper, if it's because the pencil is so thick and blown out, if that's the reason why it's kind of spreading the graphite before it's erasing. So let's test it. Okay. So the Mars Plastic did a similar thing. Yeah, it does kind of spread it out. And this is a pretty good eraser, so I won't count that out for the pink eraser. However, the Staedtler eraser definitely erased more. And even though it pushed the graphite a little bit, it didn't create like a hard black line on either side. It did get rid of it eventually. This pink eraser, on the other hand, it created the harsh black lines. It didn't erase as fully, and it's creating this like wall of black on either side where it's like pushing the graphite over. So I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'd have to test this on some other paper before I give some final thoughts, but that's just, you can see those compared right there on that. So fun to hold for sure. I like how thin it is. I like how pointy the edges are, but I don't know if it's actually that effective. Yeah, you can really push it down and kind of get some like light dots. That's kind of cool. It's very juicy, so good to know that all its time under my bed hasn't distorted the ink at all. It's not dried out or anything like that, which is really fun. It actually looks pretty dang juicy, so I like that. Interestingly enough, and I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be. Let me do some more reading, hold on. This simply says that it comes in the color blue. I guess what I'm noticing is, and I don't know if you guys can see it as well, but the bullet nib is this like darker blue and the dot nib is this lighter blue. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's definitely a difference here. They're definitely both metallic, but it's really interesting that the blues are actually a little bit different. So I'm kind of interested. I'm gonna do it right now. I wanna see if I dilute both of them with water, if I can notice that same thing happening or what's going on. This is doing an interesting separating thing. I do really like this dark blue color, and I do like it kind of like smoothing out. This is also from the dot nib. I guess I shouldn't have put it up there. I just wanted to see if I could see a color difference. But when they're kind of both watered down, I don't notice it as much. But this one seems to separate a little bit, and I tried mixing it as well as I could. I'm not sure if that's the metallic fibers that's doing that. It could be the case because we see a color difference here that this lighter blue just has more metallic ink in it. I don't know how the barrel is inside of this, if they're two separate chambers or what. It is possible that they're not as mixed together because they've been sitting for so long. I have no idea because I really can't tell what the inside of this looks like, but I think that's interesting nonetheless. I thought this was like a pipette, but this is like really hard to squeeze. And if I squeeze it, it is a pipette, but it's really hard to like squeeze and suck up the ink. But it does look like that's how it functions. So it's a nice little pipette here, and let's just kind of like drop it onto the paper, see what happens. Ooh, maybe one day I'll be a good swatcher, but right now everything's all over the place, and that's just kind of what it is. We finished watching that, and as I figured with the ink, as long as it's not dried up, and it wasn't, if you just give it a good shake, it just reactivates. So nothing is expired, which is really great to know. Well, actually, we don't know about the Jawbuster, so maybe I'll try that one later, but nothing's expired. I think it's very interesting that the colors for this month is very blue. I'm just thinking that it came in February, so it would have been really like a sad feeling February if it was like blue. Blue feels more like the color of heartbreak instead of love and fun time. So I think that's kind of fun. These are clearly different kinds of blue, and I do like the difference in that. However, I don't know if it works as well for a monochrome piece, but let's see what we can figure out, what kind of artwork we can make with this and go from there. Okay, I think I have a bit of an idea together. I don't know how well it's going to translate because I still haven't been drawing as much as I prefer, but I've been really wanting to explore more background heavy pieces recently. I think I need to really evolve my art, and I think I don't do enough backgrounds, and I want to really make final illustrations and not just character pieces. So I have this idea. I think because we have so much blue, I'm gonna just kind of utilize the resources we have and really utilize the white of the paper. And I'm thinking about this like wintry scene, so I'm thinking of these evergreens kind of topped with snow and these snowy hills kind of all in the background, and I'm trying to make the hills kind of high enough so I can actually add a character and maybe give her some contrasts with the different colors we have with the background. And I'm thinking that I want to use this nice ink, dark blue, this ultramarine blue, as like a night sky. So I like the idea. I wanted to kind of see how I wanted to play with the character. I think it's a little bit boring to just have them standing there, but I know that's the easiest thing that I could do. So I thought, what if we made it a child? This is a really crude drawing, but what if we made it a child and she was like lugging her teddy bear through the snow? And maybe we can kind of utilize the metallic sheen of the markers to make this like a really highlighted blue teddy bear. I don't know fully about that, but I do think I want to have her kind of in an action pose, so the story actually really comes to life and it's not just a static photo, but it's actually a moment in time, which I really am fond of. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab another sheet of paper and we're gonna get started. Okay, so we finished the sketch and I have about 30 minutes, a good 30 minutes where I can go ahead and start coloring this. And I really like how the sketch turned out. Oh my goodness, background pieces are everything. I think I need to do more background pieces. I'm actually surprised at how the character came out because I haven't drawn consistently in a while, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do an action pose. Let's see how that's gonna go. But I actually was able to figure it out. Also glad about how the teddy bear came out. I felt like I was gonna mess that up and I didn't want it to look like it was suspended in air, but I think because snow is so fluffy, it kind of fits to think that it's just kind of like dragging along another snow little pile there. So very excited about that. Yeah, let's continue. Look at that fine point. Can you all see that? Is it nice and beautiful? It's nice and sharp. think for the last thing I'm gonna do, I will add some stars to the sky, because I want it to really feel like it's a night scene, even though everything is pretty bright with so much snow in the foreground. And we're done. I don't want to add too many stars. I think I could add stars forever. I was gonna make it look a little bit more galaxy with doing maybe like a trail of stars, but I think a little bit more sporadic like this is fine. It really started to look like a night scene with the stars, so I'm very happy about that. I think before the sky just looked blue, but since there's so many blues, it didn't really break apart a little bit more. So now I feel like it looks like a night scene, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So that is the artwork, everyone. I am really happy that none of those supplies dried out, or they weren't products that would go bad in that amount of time. Obviously, I don't think too many things will go bad if they're not being opened, but you never know. I could have had some weird temperature in my room that could have just made it not work out. But I think it's really cute. I think I love that it's this girl carrying her teddy bear. I'm not sure if she really registers looking like a child or just some person holding a teddy bear. Yeah, wow, I had a lot of fun with this. Like I said, I'm trying to work on more background heavy pieces, so I'm kind of glad that I added a scene and it wasn't just a character driven piece. This really looks like there's a story here to be told, and I'm not 100% sure what that story is, but I like that there's something, you know? So let me know what you guys thought about this box. It kind of made me miss ArtSnacks. I think it was a fun little thing that really kind of got me out of some stages of art block, or just allowed me to think more creatively than I was in the past. So again, this was something that I wasn't planning on doing, but now that I did it, I'm kind of like, oh, I would like to do more winter scenes. I don't think I've utilized much white in the past. I think I'm usually trying to fill the page with color, but this was a fun way to just like use the white of the page with watercolor and ink, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, let me know if you get ArtSnacks, if you've enjoyed any of the boxes. I do think that the quality of ArtSnacks is pretty decent. Those are my final thoughts on the piece. Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.